Hi, my name is Charlotte, and today I'm going to be talking about The Graduate, which is something that we watched in Art of Film. It was directed by Mike Nicholas and produced by Lawrence Truman, and it was released on December 21st, 1967. Here's some background about the producer and the director of this movie. Mike Nichols, the director, and Lawrence Truman, the producer, both played a huge role in making The Graduate feel so different from other movies at the time. Nichols actually came from a background in comedy and theater, which explains why the film has that mix of awkward humor and more seriousness, emotional movements. It doesn't feel overly dramatic, it just feels real. Truman, on the other hand, was the one who really believed in the project and helped it get made, even taking a risk on casting Dustin Hoffman, who wasn't the typical Hollywood lead. Together, they helped create a film that felt more modern and relatable, and you can tell that they weren't afraid to do something a little bit different. So what I liked overall about this movie is how real and awkward it actually felt towards the audience. It doesn't try to make the main character seem super perfect or very confident. Instead, it shows someone who's honestly just very lost after finishing school, which I feel like we can all relate to as some of us are going off to college next year. This movie has a weird mix of humor and seriousness that makes it more interesting to watch and kind of expands our want to watch it. It also just felt different from all the other older movies that we watched because it focuses on emotions and confusion rather than just action. My favorite performance was Benjamin. He was played by Dustin Hoffman, and he really does a great job at showing how uncomfortable and how unsure he was about saying much. A lot of his actions, his expressions were in his body language as well. It's made it feel a lot more real. You can really tell he doesn't really know what he's doing with his life. And I feel like that makes it very clear of his character overall. One of my favorite shots and techniques that was used in this film was definitely when Benjamin was just floating on the floaty in his pool, and then it cuts to him with Miss Robinson in the hotel. I feel like this scene was very intimate in many ways, and it could really show his pain and his emotions while he's having an affair with a woman, and then also lost, and his parents are mad at him. And I thought it was really cool just because of how the camera work reflects how he feels inside his heart and his soul. My favorite line of dialogue is definitely the "I'm not going to rush into this, I'm going to take my time." And I like this line because it's kind of iconic. Benjamin says it like he has the control, but in reality he's completely lost. And it shows how he's trying to convince himself he knows what he's doing even though he really truly has no idea what he wants to do. And I think that just shows a lot into how a person can persuade themselves and how that they can hold themselves. It really doesn't matter because it matters what's going on inside. I think for this film, what could have been done better is maybe giving Elaine a little bit more in depth as a character, because she is really important to the story, but sometimes it just feels like we don't fully understand her perspective compared to Benjamin. And it would have made the ending feel even more stronger if we knew what she was thinking. I like this more than the other films that we've watched because it felt more relatable, whereas the other movies that we watched aren't very relatable to high school and whatnot. And I feel like this is just more about real life confusion and growing up and how most of us don't really know what we want to do and most people don't know what they want to do. And it makes it a lot easier to connect to and to have a relationship with. And it felt more modern in how it deals with the identity and pressure after high school and after graduation. Overall, I think The Graduate is a really unique movie that stands out because of its tone and characters. It's not about everything figured out. It's about not knowing what you're doing and trying to deal with that. The acting, camera work, and editing all helped to show that feeling. And it made the movie more meaningful than I expected. And it's definitely one of those films that stick with you after you finish it. I knew I wanted to do this film right when this assignment was assigned to us, just because of how much I related to it on a deeper level rather than just liking the movie. This is my video on my favorite movie before the 1960s. Thank you.